Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Infinite Crypto Cruisers. Hey there, folks. My name is Brad Varnell, and this is the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel. So excited to have you here today for another token teaser segment. And today we are excited to really share a unique project with you guys. And I have the head of business development here today, Cyber Henry. Thank you so much for joining the show today. We definitely appreciate you taking some time to share this incredible project, Zelis, with my community. And I also want to thank your community. It looks like you have an incredible community. They have come out strong and are definitely representing in the chat. So welcome to the show.
Appreciate it, Brad. Thanks so much for having me today. Excited to sit down and chat a little bit about Zelis with you.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it also, because I'm kind of learning at the same time as my community is, because it's a little bit of a new concept. It's something that I don't think as many people in crypto know about it as they should. And, you know, that's kind of one of the reasons the title of this video has the word undiscovered in it. And hopefully by the end of this video, we have a whole lot more people educated onto exactly what Zelis is and why it exists. So I'd love to start off, if you don't mind. We were talking a little bit off camera, and you mentioned that you were, you know, kind of an OG in crypto. You've been around for a decade or so. So if you don't mind just kind of telling my community a little bit about yourself, how you got involved in this crazy world of blockchain technology, and then how, you know, how Zelis, you know, kind of came into your life, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, you know, in a nutshell, I've always been into technology. I've always been into computers. And, you know, I think it was probably just over a decade ago when I don't know where exactly I heard about Bitcoin the first time, but what really fascinated me by it was the fact that anybody could participate in. And that was the first time that I heard a term called mining in my life. And I remember thinking, well, I love being on the computer. I love spinning around in Linux or DOS shell. I should give this a try. So I essentially started dabbling into mining cryptocurrency. And once I started doing it, and I realized that, you know, I was getting paid coins that had, you know, some sort of value to it, I pretty much jumped with 2 feet in and just became essentially a geek related to everything mining. So whether it was, you know, CPU mining or GPU mining, I was always looking for that new project or the new coin that I could start mining early. And as most folks know in the mining world, if you're early to projects, and it's no different than investing in a project, if you're early and you find an undiscovered gem, like you mentioned, you know, you have the opportunity to make some good money. And it's very empowering, I think, to be able to do something just in the comfort of your own home that allows you really an opportunity not only to make money, but very quickly after that, realize just how amazing the community was, and that you could essentially go onto chat platforms and meet other individuals that are very like-minded, individuals that, to be honest with you, become your friends. And you may not even know this individual. You might not even know their real name. But you really build a sense of community, and you then start seeing a lot of the same names as you kind of move around in different communities, as you get interested in other projects as well. So it's really been that. It's been the love of technology, and then really the community. And that's what pulled me just in general in terms of an interest. But in terms of actually pivoting from interest to contributions, it was really the decentralized notion of crypto that essentially allowed me to say, hey, well, in my real life, I'm a business guy. I'm a marketing professional. I've negotiated partnerships in the corporate world. I have a lot of skills that would be transferable to cryptocurrency. And in a lot of decentralized projects where essentially they're not a business, they're not a legal entity, you know, there's really no barrier to entry in contributing. And that's essentially what I found about, you know, 5 years or so ago, where I was able to really leverage my talents, a lot of the network and the connections that I made, to be able to take a fundamentally strong project from a development standpoint and help with the adoption. And as we know, there's thousands and thousands of cryptocurrency projects, and a lot of them have really solid core technologies behind them, but they need that extra factor of how are you going to get adoption? Because, you can have the greatest technology in the world. If you can't get the word out about it, you're not going to be successful in this space.
I agree with that, 100%. And I deal with so many different teams, and it's amazing to me how many people, don't understand that. I'll never forget, I'll just, tell a quick story. There's a famous author out there named Robert Kiyosaki that wrote a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And just, an amazing best-selling author, he's, worth hundreds of millions of dollars. But he tells a story where this other author came to him and said, hey, I've wrote an incredible book, but I can't get anybody, I'm not getting anybody to, to read it, to buy it. What would you recommend I do? And he told this lady that she needed to learn how to sell. And she got very indignant and upset with him and said, hey, I'm a doctor. I'm a PhD. I wrote this book. It's incredible. I don't want to learn how to sell. I don't have any desire to sell. And he reminded her, when you're on the New York Times, it's the best selling list. It's not the best writing list. And so she walked away not liking his advice. But I just love what you said, because I agree with you 1,000%. You can have the best product, the best solution for something in the world, but if nobody knows about it, then there's not going to be, any success. So I'm glad that you brought up that point. And I just want to give, a little cat out of the bag, folks. So for those of you that are watching, he mentioned, microcap gem. I talked about being undiscovered. I'm just going to let you guys know right up front, this token right now, this project only has a little over a $6 million market cap. And that's one of the reasons that it's being featured on my show. I don't know if you know it, Cyber Henry, but I'm kind of known as a microcap gem guy. In fact, I have a live stream every Wednesday that just focuses on nothing but microcap gem tokens that me and my community are excited about. So really super excited to have you guys here in this amazing timing, with the bull market and the things that I believe are coming over the next handful of months. I think your project is positioned perfectly to really take advantage of the perfect storm.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I think no one can sit here and say it hasn't been a rough, couple of weeks and months in the crypto space. So especially for somebody like myself who, does spend a lot of time in marketing, it's definitely tough to see when, you're doing the right things, but the market's not responding. But that being said, you continue to do the right things. You continue to push on adoption. Our development team, one of the best teams I've seen in this space. And I'm not just saying that because I'm involved right now. One of the most active, one of the most talented team. I know they're doing the right things. So we're going to be in a very good position once the market churns and shows a little bit more love towards one, altcoins, and then two, utility serious projects, as opposed to the little meme craze that we've experienced here over the first half of 2025.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's where experience comes in handy. You've been around for a decade. I really got serious about crypto in 2016, 2017-ish. And, these little 20 or 30% dips are not even a blip on our radar screen anymore because we've seen them so many times. But for people that are newer to the crypto space, man, it can be unnerving, because in the traditional finance, in the stock market, if a stock goes down 2 or 3%, that's like massive news. If all of a sudden Apple had a 2 or 3% decline, it would be on the front page of every newspaper. And in crypto, we have 2 or 3% declines like on an hourly basis. And the 20 or 30% declines happen so often that, once again, they're just kind of part of the norm for those of us that have been around. But, I love to tell people that are a little bit worried right now, in 2020 going into 2021, Bitcoin was about $8,000 back in November or so of 2020. It ran all the way up to 42,000 in February of 2021. And then it had this massive retracement from 42 back to 27 in a pretty short period of time. And everybody freaked out. Everybody thought the sky was falling. We were going to zero. And then boom, March, April, May came along. And by May 11th of 2021, Bitcoin had gone all the way up to its, all-time high of $64,000 at that point. So I'm excited because we saw Bitcoin go to 108, watched it drop back to 78, and it took longer than I thought it was going to take for that to happen. But I kind of fully expected that at some point in time when we got around that 100K mark to have a rejection like we did. It just took a couple more months. But anyways, I really feel like, no financial advice here. I don't have a crystal ball. I could be wrong, but I really believe that we are on the cusp of turning that corner and really getting to experience some massive upside like we did, from March till the end of 2021.
Well, I hope so. I want to get in your crystal ball because I'm hoping for some positive momentum as it relates to, especially like I mentioned, utility projects that are solid and serious. Because I think we're going to be really positioned because we have a really unique offering here at Zelis. We've been able to combine some technologies that really essentially have never been able to be combined due to technical limitations. So, once folks start looking for those solid layer ones, which inevitably I think they will, I think we're going to be in a very good position to gain users and to build our community. And that's really what it's about.
Yeah, absolutely. So now that, we've kind of gotten the formalities out of the way, everybody knows a little bit about you. Let's jump right in to Zelis and kind of give them a breakdown of exactly what it is. It looks to me like it just launched in the last year or so. It's not a super old project, if I'm correct here.
Correct.
Was it launch in 2024?
Correct. So development started in 2021. So to give you a little bit of background, so Zelis is a design from scratch blockchain project. So it's not a fork of any sort. Obviously, a fork being that you take some existing code base. And obviously, when you look into the landscape of layer ones, typically, that's one of the first things that people look into is, is this an original idea? Is this coded from a competent development team that really is trying to build something from the ground up? Or is it merely just a code fork from another project where they, add a feature or two or change a couple things in it, essentially more so usually as a money-making effort. But Zelis was developed from the ground. Development began in 2021 and was essentially the vision of our lead developer, as well as a development team around him. And the goal of Zelis was essentially, I'd say, threefold. One, it was overarching by the goal to make a kind of the ultimate layer one. But within that layer one, being able to mainstream privacy, which I know we're going to talk about a little bit more in detail. But included in that privacy was how can we get a private and confidential chain that also has the ability to scale and to have speed behind it? Because when you're talking about encryption technologies and decryption, you're talking about large computational overhead that essentially bogs down any attempts to speed up your blocks or to improve the scale. So really needing to solve how you can get those transaction verifications and processings done in a quick enough format to allow your transactions to happen very quickly and to be able to support a large amount of users. And then on top of that, if you're going to build a layer one, it no longer in crypto in 2025 can it just be a transactional layer. You need to have the ability for builders to go ahead and launch decentralized applications on it. And that's really where we come in with our layer one smart contracts and virtual machine. We've developed it from the ground up. It uses a Rust adapted language, but it is a proprietary language that we developed that would be familiar for those developers who know and utilize Rust. But it's a really performant and really flexible driven language and platform that offers a wide range of benefits over something like the Ethereum virtual machine, which in a sense is, one of the largest used platforms, but has a lot of actually limitations as it relates to flexibility and what can be done with it. So really that's Zelis in a nutshell, is how we can mainstream privacy and confidentiality and get away from some of the stigmas involved in that, and essentially to give users back that fundamental human right of privacy in a blockchain that can be very fast, highly scalable, as well as have that ability for layer one decentralized applications such as decentralized exchanges, the ability to launch tokens on it. So that's Zelis essentially in a nutshell.
Awesome. So could you go over what is a block DAG? So when I first read that, I thought, I've heard the word DAG before, but probably a lot of the people watching from my community, they might not be familiar with what a block DAG actually is. So if you could maybe just kind of explain it, give us a little overview of what exactly that means.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. So the term DAG is actually an acronym for directed acyclic graph. It's a term out of mathematics. Essentially what it means is, think about first what a blockchain is. You have a block. What is a block? A block is the fundamental thing where all the transactions are contained within it. And when you chain it up, essentially you create this chain type of link where you have one block that's attached to the next block, that's attached to the next block, and you have a very linear arrangement of the blocks. And only one block can point to the next block, and that's essentially how it's ordered in something like Bitcoin or Ethereum. With a DAG, essentially what you have is this lattice based structure. You think of like a lattice fence, and it has all those holes, but they're all connected to each other. And that's essentially what a DAG is you can have one particular block of transactions that are pointing to many different blocks in its child blocks, or even as in its parent blocks, the blocks before it. You can have several different blocks. So you essentially create this grid-like lattice that essentially allows you, and why it's so powerful for blockchain is the fact that you can now process transactions in parallel. So for Bitcoin, you're creating a block, you have to wait 10 minutes. If your transaction doesn't fit within that block, you got to wait the 10 minutes, you get in the next block, and so forth and so on. With the block DAG, you can essentially be creating blocks at the same time. So you can process more transactions, you have a faster speed, you're more scalable, but it requires a higher level of consensus to essentially prove that those transactions are in fact true. So block DAGs have been around for, I'd say roughly 7 or 8 years. Don't quote me on that. And really what we've seen over the last, I'd say 4 years or so, is the improvement of the consensus mechanisms and the commercialization of some of these DAG projects. And you're now starting to see in the landscape, both in the proof of stake and proof of work side, developers really kind of understanding the benefits. And to be honest with you, as we see more DAG-based projects become successful, I have a theory that it's probably going to become the norm, because it is a more it is a better solution as it relates to transaction speeds and scale. But it's just newer, and it took more mathematics to be able to sort out how to prove a block is honest versus a potential unhonest block.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that. So I wanted to run down here real quick and show people, I know that you guys kind of get, compared to Kaspa a little bit. And I think that's probably, do you believe that that's because of the supply emission and the way that the Zelis tokens are mined, or where does that comparison to Kaspa, come from? And what do you think about that?
Yeah, so the comparison to Kaspa is really only in two areas of the project, to be honest with you. It's the fact that we do have a DAG. So Kaspa is a DAG architecture as well. And then the second being that we are a proof of work cryptocurrency. Really, outside of those two fundamental things, in addition to the fact that a lot of our investors who have decided to invest or join the community in Zelis had also, potentially been interested in Kaspa as well. There's not a lot of similarities between our projects. We do use a different type of consensus mechanism. So Kaspa was really born out of research that came out of the lead developers regarding consensus mechanisms for DAG architecture blockchains, namely commercializing their creation of Ghost DAG, which is essentially a way that they determine which blocks are honest and which blocks aren't honest to essentially create a valid, secure blockchain. Zelis uses a different type of consensus mechanism, more based on thresholds. So it's different in terms of the consensus mechanism. And then outside of that, the projects are extremely, extremely different. I always mention, because inevitably we get the questions, well, are you better or are you worse than Kaspa? And my answer to that is we're not better and we're not worse. We're different. It depends on what you're prioritizing. So you as a user or you as a developer, what's important to you? Because if what is the most important to you is just pure speed and a transaction layer, I would probably tend to lean towards Kaspa, because that's really what they have been about, creating fast consensus mechanisms and having a transactional layer. If you're more interested in confidentiality and privacy, and if you're interested in having a very easy to use DeFi system directly on that layer one to allow you to launch tokens on layer one that have the same properties as Zelis, meaning that any token that you would launch is going to have that same type of confidentiality as Zelis, then Zelis is the project for you. But I have no negative things to say about Kaspa. I think that they have a very strong team. I think the technology is solid. But for myself, there is a lot of key things for Zelis, namely the confidentiality and what we're going to be bringing forth with our smart contracts and confidential assets that, for my preference, it interests me more. And really, that's up to the user. That's up to the developers and the builders who want to get involved in the ecosystem on what they prioritize and what types of solutions that they're trying to solve.
Perfect. So, we've been here for about a half an hour. I really like what you said. I'm excited about the platform. And now I want to take the next step. So myself or, people from my community that are watching the video, if they want to participate and if they want to actually use your platform, how do they go about it? What is the next step for somebody that wants to go to, zelis.io and actually start interacting and using your services?
Yeah, that's a great question. So really, it depends on what type of involvement that the user wants to get involved in. If you're just a random investor, or you like joining communities, the first thing I would mention is to hop on into our Telegram and our Discord. So if you scroll to the bottom of our website, we have the links to both our Telegram and our Discord chats. You can also follow us on Twitter and come on in and meet us all. One of the great things about our project is the accessibility of the team. Some projects, it's tough to hear from a developer, directly when you have a particular question or concern. With Zelis, the developers are extremely active in our chat platforms. Any questions that are asked are typically answered within 12 hours max if somebody's sleeping during the time zone differences or whatnot. Right. So hop on in, get to know us all. We have a very, very good community. Some communities in crypto tend to how can I say it, get a little toxic at times, and I really pride myself and the community on creating a very inclusive, warming, welcoming type of approach, even with people that come in with tough questions, or statements or comments that could be perceived as FUD. We try to be very tolerant about that. We're not banning people left and right if they're not, towing the line of what we're saying. So that's the first thing I would mention is go ahead and join our chat platforms, get to know who we are. If you're looking to purchase Zelis, so if you're interested in either looking at Zelis from an investment standpoint, which we're not an investment, no cryptocurrency is an investment. That's obviously no financial advice. But if you want to participate in speculation, we are able to be purchased on quite a few centralized exchanges. If you go into our website, we do have a tab on the top for our resources and exchanges, and you can get an idea of where you can buy, as well as you showed our CoinGecko page or Coin Market Cap. We're available on MEXC, Trade Ogre, XT, Trosador, CoinX, Bit, and a bunch of other smaller exchanges as well. So pretty much have the entire globe serviced from a exchange standpoint, and we are going to be aggressively looking at larger exchanges too once the market starts to improve as well. So you can go ahead and purchase coins, and then really the stage that we're at in the project is actually a really exciting stage. You mentioned the word micro cap and our market cap, and there's a lot of really, really good things to come. You can take a look at our roadmap that we've put up on our social media or even on our website as well. We're in the midst of our actual smart contracts testnet. So we launched the smart contract and virtual machine testnet at the end of 2024. So right now that is in some extensive testing where you've been adding new functionality, trying to work out the bugs in hopes that within hopefully mid-year or so, or getting more into the end of summer, that we're going to be bringing that smart contract and virtual machine onto mainnet. So for your users or for your viewers who may not be too familiar with Zelis, it's a good time to get involved because there's a lot that's going to be coming, and really, if you weren't a miner or you hadn't heard about us early on, we really haven't yet made the appeal and done kind of mass marketing to more of a common crypto user. And once we launch our smart contracts, once we have a decentralized exchange, once folks are launching applications and launching tokens, and I'm sure there's going to be some meme coins on Zelis. I'm not a meme coin fan, but I don't think that we can deny that they do provide some importance to the ecosystem. So there's going to be a lot of really fun, exciting things coming on Zelis. And essentially, you're given an opportunity to get in early before all those things come mid-year.
Awesome. So for people that run out and grab some of these tokens on an exchange, but they want to hold it in a private wallet, what wallet would you recommend?
We have several wallet options. If you click on into the resources tab on the top of the website, you'll actually get to the page where we go through some of our wallet options. So the first, probably easiest to use would be either the Genesis wallet or the web wallet. So Genesis is a application based, so you can put it onto your PC, your Mac. We have an Android version. We don't have an iOS version yet, but we do have something very exciting actually in the works right now with a multi-asset wallet provider to actually integrate Zelis. So we'll have an iOS option through them, as well as eventually we'll have an iOS through Genesis. If you don't want to deal with, or you're leery about downloading things on your computer or devices, the web wallet's great. It operates in the browser, and it has the same graphical user interface to the Genesis wallet. Lastly, if you're more of a technical user or an OG, as I call them, we have your basic command line interface wallet, which is obviously going to run in the command interface of Windows Terminal or Linux, and then the paper wallet, which everybody always asks, when are you going to get a hard wallet support? So the paper wallet is essentially the OG method for creating a wallet that has essentially never touched the internet. So essentially is the most secure way to hold your Zelis. So you can actually download an application, and then you can move it from a USB stick over to a computer that has never touched the internet, run the application. It will create you a wallet that has never touched the internet. You'll have a wallet addressed in your private seed. You can send your coins to that wallet. You can print out that sheet. You can laminate it. You can carve it into metal with your seed phrase. And that wallet has never touched the internet. It's the most secure. It's actually more secure than a hardware wallet. Hardware wallets get hacked all the time. So if you want to just grab Zelis and you want to hold it long term, and you're not going to want to use it or interact with it, the Zelis paper wallet's the way to go. It's the way that I hold my Zelis. I only receive Zelis. I don't send Zelis. I'm definitely.
Oh, we lost you. Cannot hear you anymore. Are you there, Cyber Henry? We may have lost Cyber Henry. I'm not sure if his internet is having some troubles or whatnot. I'm going to go ahead and hop back over here to CoinGecko real quick while we wait for him to get back. So folks, for those of you that are from my community, one of the things that really caught my eye about this token here is you can see the max supply here is only a little over 18 million tokens. And then as I kind of briefly showed on the website, you can see the bonding curve, or whatever you want to call it, the release curve with the miners here. You can see how the maximum supply, it's going to go up slowly year by year by year, and all 18.3 million tokens will not be in supply until 2061. We've got a big a chunk in 2045, but you can see it goes up a little bit every year. But one of the things that attracted me to that was that is not a significant amount of sell pressure that's going to be coming into the market, in my opinion, compared to a lot of companies that do a token generation event when they've done a private sale, and now they do a token generation event. And when they go public, they release 10-15% of the supply. And then the remaining, 85 or 90% of the supply a lot of times gets put out onto the market in a matter of a month, or even, not a month, but a matter of like 6 months to a year, or even some of the best vesting is over the course of, 1 to 2 years in a lot of cases. So in a lot of tokens cases, you've got 100% of the supply is out on the market in the course of just a couple of years, where with this, it's going to take all the way till 2061. So I do believe that this is a token that there's some scarcity to it. And if this thing hits, and some of the right influencers, including hopefully I can help boost this project. But if this thing starts to get some notoriety and starts to get out there, and all of a sudden it gets the right tweet or the right coverage from the right person, not financial advice, folks, but I do see that this could have some pretty cool potential, because there's not a lot of tokens out there for people to buy. It wouldn't take that many people wanting them to significantly put some, amazing buy pressure on this token. As he mentioned, and we talked about, you can get it in so many places too. I love the fact that you've got a lot of options, and you can get this token, in a ton of places. And let's see here. I think he might have popped out and came back. Let me add you back to the stage. Are you back here with us, Henry?
Yeah, I apologize. Too bad internet service providers weren't like blockchain with distributed nodes, so we could all stay connected. I apologize about that. My internet kicked me out there.
No worries. So I was just kind of going over a few things without you. So once again, folks, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy that created some financial freedom in my life. Back in 2017, I had a mentor, a friend of mine, begging me to get involved in crypto. He was telling me about this little known token called Ethereum that was $9 at the time. And, I didn't see the vision yet. I got my feet wet a little bit, but I watched him turn $10,000 into about 2.2 million in between 17 and 18 when the market kind of peaked there in January of 18. And that's when I really got extremely serious about crypto. But anyways, so I just, do your own research, do your own due diligence, never take anybody's word for any of this all on your own. But I see an opportunity here, and I think that this is a token that is well worthy of you doing a deeper dive, doing your own due diligence, and seeing if it fits in with your timeline and your risk reward tolerance. So with that, let's go back to you, Cyber Henry. Was there anything else on the website or, anything else that you really wanted to highlight before we gave away $100?
Yeah, let's go over a couple of things just so I can, I briefly mentioned a couple of things, but just to give a little bit more clarity. So yeah, so typically, if users hear the word privacy, there's been a stigma that's been created in the
Oh man, you're cutting out on us again.
Crypto.
I don't know if you can hear me or not, Henry.
And
hey, Henry, you cut out for about 30 seconds again, so we didn't hear anything that you were saying.
With that, and to find a transparency that we provide. So Zelis is actually one of the first projects that I would actually call a confidential coin or project, and not actually a privacy project. And the reason that I say that is that we only provide partial privacy, and it's more akin to what you would see in traditional finance with your spending on your credit card or debit card and your checking account. So we don't take a level of something like a Monero that essentially privatizes everything in the transaction, meaning that with Zelis, you can still jump on our Explorer, you can still look up your address and see that you sent X amount of coins to another wallet. You can see another wallet sent coins to you, but you as the wallet holder are the only one that is able to actually see the amount of coins that have been sent, as well as your balance. So no one is able to go up onto your wallet address and see how many coins that you're holding. And there's a lot of benefits to that. You're not walking around in everyday life with the ability for somebody to see how much money is in your checking account. If you transact at a business, the person behind you in line can't look at the business's ledger to see, oh, hey, you.
We lost you again. Henry, we can't hear you. All right, folks, I think you kind of get the idea of what he's talking about there, and I really like that a lot myself. So, I have a MetaMask wallet, I have Trust wallets, I have, a lot of wallets, and for the most part, it's not the end of the world. If somebody obviously gets a hold of my wallet address, they can go look and see every transaction that wallet has ever made. They can see what I have in my wallet. They can look at what tokens I own. And so I understand what, he is saying there about, partial privacy. And I do like the idea of that a whole lot. I'm assuming he's going to try to pop back in. While we're waiting for him, I want to get the giveaway started. So give you guys just a quick outline of what we're doing here. We're going to give 4 people. Well, here, no, he's back. Let's get him on here and let him finish his thought. You there, Cyber Henry?
Oh, this is annoying. I apologize. I'm not sure what's going on with the internet, but yeah. So essentially, I was breaking down the fact that we provide just a partial privacy, more akin to traditional finance. You can still have that transparency. Regulators can see, if the government wants to go in and see that your wallet interacted with another wallet that potentially was involved in some sort of crime or laundering. They can make those connections, but they can't ultimately see your balance. So you're not susceptible to fraud attempts or potential violence, and really giving people back that fundamental right to privacy, but not going as so far to really put ourselves in a position where, from a governmental and exchange perspective, that, we wouldn't be able to participate like a traditional public ledger.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. So with that, let's give away some money. Zelis was kind enough to donate $100 to the live stream for this giveaway. We want to, reward those of you that have been with us the whole time. You do have to be present to win. And so let me pop back over here to this view and just kind of give you guys a little bit of a breakdown how we're going to do this. So in the background, my StreamYard, let's refresh this. It should be fine, but choose a live stream. We're going to do the Zelis live stream, and then you guys have been typing in Zelis. So we're going to start that over, and as we can see here, so for those of you that didn't catch that in the beginning, in order to be eligible for the drawing, you want to type in hashtag Zelis, Xelis. That's going to get you into the random number generator. And then I want to pop over here to the YouTube channel. You guys can see the chat here. You're going to want to, if you get drawn as a winner, very quickly, you're going to want to let us know in the chat that you are here. Because once I draw the 4 winners, if you guys haven't popped up and let us know that you're here, we're going to go ahead and draw alternates. And then what you're going to do once you've been drawn as a winner, let's just say that it was Crypto M here. I'm going to click here on his name. I'm going to go to his channel. And every single one of you that has a YouTube channel has this about section of your YouTube channel, and you can and only you can mess with it. So it allows me to, keep people from trying to scam the giveaways. You're going to go here and you're just going to update this with whatever wallet address you want me to send $25 in USDT on the Polygon network too. So I've got some USDT on my Polygon MetaMask wallet. I'm going to send that wherever you guys want it. Should be an Ethereum-based address, but on the Polygon network. So once you guys go in and you've been drawn as winners and we wrap up this live stream, I'll go in and I'll send the 4 of you the $25 in USDT on the Polygon network. So if you don't have anything else that you want to add before I start drawing winners, Cyber Henry, we'll get to the drawing. If you have anything else that you wanted to talk about, go for it.
No, just in closing, Brad, just want to thank you for the opportunity, and really just invite your viewers to go ahead and pop on into our Discord and Telegram. And really, I know we mentioned it when we were chatting prior, but the development team here is extremely solid. If you're not familiar with GitHub, if you've never analyzed a crypto project by looking at the activity level of the development in GitHub, I welcome you to try to dive into that, get familiar with what a project looks like that has very, very active development from a developer team that has a long track record, that hasn't just created their GitHub profile And, you really can compare, the technology and the talent of the developers by diving into that. And I welcome your users to dive into GitHub, take a look at the track record of the developers behind Zelis, look at how long they've been contributing into the space, even before they decided to develop Zelis, and take a look at the activity in the project and compare it to other projects, and kind of make your own conclusions with the trajectory of the project as well. I'm super excited. I feel very fortunate to have been given the opportunity to help out on the business end of Zelis. So I'd love to meet y'all in our chats.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially for my community, folks, you got to remember that one of the ways these projects, evaluate how valuable the interview was and if it was worth their time to come onto the channel was by how many of you, go follow them on Twitter, go jump into their Discord and jump into their Telegram group. So you're doing the whole Infinite Crypto YouTube channel a massive favor by going and connecting with these folks and letting them know that you appreciated, the time that they spent on here. So all of the links to their website, their Telegram, their Twitter account are in the description, and I will add the Discord link. Once we finish up here, I'll get the Discord link into the description so you can all go, follow them. And then once again, not financial advice, but it's always awesome when we see a little bit of a pump in the chart because you guys got excited about what you saw and you went and started, adding some of these tokens, to your bag. So once again, thank you so much for your time, Cyber Henry. I know that right now is an incredibly busy time in the market and with everything that you guys have going. So I appreciate you taking an hour of your valuable time and spending it with us. And once again, we really appreciate you giving us the ability to give away, $100 worth of value here. So, some of you might even want to consider taking this $25 in USDT that you're going to get and maybe go get some Zelis tokens with it. But with that, let's draw the first winner, see who is going to be the first recipient of the $25 in USDT. Deli 12, if you are still here, please let us know in the chat that you are here. And let's draw the second winner. Book of Crypto. Congratulations, Book of Crypto. And winner number 3. Karina XO. Congratulations. Star Wars. I definitely saw some new names here, so I always love it. Your community came out and supported this so much. So hopefully at least a couple of these people are from the Zelis community. We really appreciate you guys. And, thank you for being here. And hopefully some of you hit that subscribe button. We're definitely going to be doing more content and more updates on Zelis. As I mentioned earlier, on Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we do a microcap gem live stream, and I'm going to highlight Zelis on that live stream next Wednesday. So we'd love to have you guys come out, and let's just make sure that everybody is here real quick. We'll get down here to the bottom of the chat and see what we got. Here's Karina XO, gonna go to your channel, so now nobody can try to impersonate you. I've got you sitting right here. As soon as you update your about, I will get that money sent over to you. We're looking for Star Wars, the new Siths. Here they are. Thank you for letting us know that you're there. Got your channel pulled up. Deli 12 is Deli 12. There's Deli 12. Congratulations. Go to your channel. And then last but not least, we had Book of Crypto. Book of Crypto. I see you there. So awesome. I've got all 4 of you pulled up here on my computer screen. You guys can update your bios in your YouTube, and I will get you $25 in USDT sent over to your Polygon network. And we'll go back over here to this view for the last 30 seconds or so. But yeah, any final parting words at all, or are you good to go, Cyber Henry?
No, I think we covered everything. Thanks a lot again, Brad, for the opportunity, for giving us a chance to chat with you. And I appreciate some of the kind words you've said about the project, and I hope you follow along closely. We got some really exciting things coming, and hopefully we'll see some new folks pop into our community.
Absolutely, man. Once again, thank you so much. Let's definitely stay in touch. I really believe in longer term relationships, and I really am excited by what I see here. Whether you're better or worse than Kaspa is, once again, like you said, you're just different. But one of the things I can't. One more quick second here, folks. I got to show you guys something. So I don't want to, it's not a comparison, but I do want to just show you guys something really quick here. So Zelis is sitting here at $2.58 a token with a $6 million market cap. And a lot of people, not the team, not the Zelis team, they're not the ones that are comparing themselves to Kaspa, but a lot of people think about Kaspa when they're looking at Zelis. And I just want to show you guys the Kaspa market cap here, $1.9 billion. Zelis, $6 million. Once again, you make up your own mind as to whether or not that looks like an opportunity to you. But, I like the idea of finding a project like this with this much utility, with this kind of a team backing it, with a $6 million market cap. One of these days, something's going to happen that's going to spark some excitement behind this project. And, hopefully maybe even it just started today with this live stream. But, I mentioned this when you kind of got knocked off earlier. I was talking about your supply and was showing them the curve, and that all of the tokens won't be in circulation until, 2061. And, the fact of the matter is, it's not financial advice. It's just the fact of the matter is there's not a whole lot of tokens out there in circulation. So in my opinion, when you guys get some notoriety and a marketing push, and the right people start to find out about you, the amount of buy pressure that would create would just be tremendous, in my opinion. So once again, folks, do with this interview what you will. But I'm definitely excited about this project, and very much appreciate you and your time today, Cyber Henry.
Great, appreciate it. Thanks so much, Brad. And we do have a little key opinion leader marketing campaign kicking off here shortly as well. Once the market turns a little bit better as well. So hopefully you'll start to see a little bit more noise behind Zelis in the future here as we get close to the smart contract launch.
Wonderful, man. I'd love to know more about that and potentially be invited to be a participant.
Great. Let's definitely talk about that, Brad. Appreciate all your time. Thank you, everybody.
All right, guys, take care. One quick last thing. I do have another live stream today for those of you that like looking at microcap gems, that like making, winning money, here in a little over an hour at 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I'm doing another live stream with another project and giving away another $100. So for those of you that got some time and want to come back in an hour, we'll see you then. For everybody else, have a fantastic